Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the RAVEMEN NT101 bike taillight. The RAVEMEN NT101 is marketed as the ultimate city bike light and offers an impressive array of features to help people see you and protect your bike. It's a large light that's designed to be installed on bike racks or seat posts and features a turn signal setup, horn, and even a motion-based alarm. Packaging wise, really simple. You have a nice glossy representation of the taillight. A lot of the features printed on the side and more specs on the back side. I'll go ahead and open this up and we'll go over the full features. So retail price on this is $44.95, so pretty affordable given all the features it has. It's 160 lumen output from the LEDs. You have laser lane indicators. You have brake detection, so it'll automatically switch to a special mode when it detects slowing down. You even have a 120 dB horn, a wireless remote, and as well, on top of all that, you also have that alarm. So that ensures if you have any motion when you have the alarm set, it'll automatically emit an alarm to notify it's being stolen. As far as what comes with it, you also get a lot of things as well. We have the taillight itself, again, really large form factor. We have a wireless remote, and this has a watch battery in it. We have a little strap for the wireless remote, which has simple hooks. We have a seat post mount, and because it's such a big light, you can see it's a clamp-on design, not just a basic rubber strap. We have all the hardware to attach it. There's also a bike rack adapter. So if you have a rack, you can use the provided bolts to bolt through it, and then it has the same little receiver to mount the light. You have a USB Type-C charging cable. You also have some of these protective rubber strips that you can install on the bike. Some of the warning information on here, as well as a battery. So you have a little battery in here that you can install on the wireless remote. You also have the user manual and the little warranty card on the bottom of the box. So the light by itself is 241 grams. The seat post mount with the bolts, it's another 27, as it's a little bit more heavy duty. And then the wireless remote, that's only 27. Visually, the NT101 is a big taillight with a wide lens and 32 LEDs integrated into it. This isn't your average taillight though, as RAVEMEN has added nearly every feature available for a bike light or horn into this. You can see the body of it is pretty large, so it's a wide design. Big plastic body, NT101 printed on the top. You have RAVEMEN on the front side, and then you can see a lot of the features. You have the horn cut out here, and this also is a speaker for the alarm. You have these little gold pieces under these cutouts. These are for the laser lane indicators. You also have exposed screws here that hold the whole thing together, and it is IPX4 rated, which is pretty impressive given all the features. USB Type-C charging port on the bottom for charging it. And then the power button is on top. You can't actually access all the features with just this button. You do have to use the included wireless remote. The lens itself, you can see, has a slightly curved shape to it. Almost a frosted appearance, and you can see all the individual LEDs on the inside. These orange ones here for the turn signal have this additional detailing, so you can see these cutouts, and that helps disperse the light. So if I turn this on, you can see all the individual LEDs, and then with the turn signal mode, you can see the separate LEDs in there as well. So really feature filled and it's pretty impressive for the price. They also do have a battery status indicator, which is one of our big gripes with a lot of products. You just don't know what the battery is. With this one, you have a 3-level one if you press the button once. There's a green LED here and then a blue one. Green indicates everything above 25 or 20%. Then you have blue and then flashing blue for under 5%. So it doesn't tell you a lot of information, but it's better than nothing. Holding the power button turns the light on. Lets you toggle through a couple modes. You have flash options. And you even have a hazard mode. And you can see, especially with the hazard mode, it really looks a lot like a Dodge Charger and automotive taillights. So really wide design with this little curved cutout. So it's a pretty cool design overall. And again, 32 LEDs, 160 lumens, which is impressive. As far as mounting this, you can see it is a big heavy light, so your little rubber hooks won't work with this. They've actually added this plastic receiver design. So a little slot on here, goes to the seat post mount here. And you can see just match up the bottom of that with here. Slide it in there, no real play or anything. And then to remove it, You can leave this bolted onto your seat post, pull back on the little tab, and then slide this forward. You can see it's pretty stiff, so you gotta wiggle it, and then once it's off, you can take this with you, leave the mount on the bike. They also include a second mount, which is for a bike rack, so you can bolt it in, and then you have adjustable position for the other 2 bolts, but with the same receiver. This has 160 lumens, so pretty bright, and run times range from 7 to 24 hours. The other cool feature about this is the laser feature. So there's a laser lane indicator. So if I go to the wireless remote, press the laser one, you can see this will project 2 lasers downward. And the idea here is if you mount it up high, this will actually look like little lane indicators around you. So it's a pretty cool setup. It's not really daytime bright, so you can see here on camera, it's pretty dim, but at nighttime, you can see this is quite bright and really helps illuminate where you are. Whether or not this adds to your safety is more debatable. I'm not sure if people would even notice this, but pedestrians or other cyclists will definitely see these lines around you. And it's kind of a cool feature. It is a manual on or off feature, so you have to decide if you want it. And if you turn off the light, then it'll automatically be turned off the next time you turn it on. The memory mode does not include the turn signal or the laser indicator. They also have a brake light feature. So you can see I have it on here. It's very sensitive. It'll switch from whatever mode you're on to the solid 100 lumen mode for about 2 seconds. When you have this mode on, and it's optional, you can turn it on or off. It also has a auto off feature or auto standby. So if I leave this here with no vibrations for 2 minutes, it'll automatically turn off to a standby mode. Then if I were to shake it, it would turn back on. You can easily turn this feature on and off though, which is nice. These brake light features, they're really tough to calibrate and they will drain the battery. So you hold the power button for 2 seconds. You can see it's flashing. So I let go, and then this should be able to deactivate the mode. You also have turn signals with this, which is a pretty cool feature, and given how wide it is, it's actually a lot more useful than having turn signals very close. You have the wireless remote, so there's a left and right indicator. So you can see this is the right and then left. You also have the nice audible sound. You can turn that off if you hold it for 2 seconds. So you can see now it's silent. And again, nice feature because it's so wide and you have that special lens design. The wireless remote here is also pretty easy to operate. You can see you basically have a couple buttons left and right. You have a horn, which is claimed to be 120 decibel. It's an electronic horn, so of course it doesn't sound that great, but it is quite loud. And although it's a little weird to have a horn behind you, it's still effective, so you don't need a separate horn. You can just leave this. You have your taillight, turn signals, laser, and everything. The other feature here is the alarm feature. So not only do you have all these features, but you also have an alarm. So if I hold the button down, you can see loud sound, and now it's armed. There's actually no indicator that it's on, so you just have to remember that it's on. And then when I go grab this, this will start making a loud 90s style car alarm sound as long as there's motion. So if you have headphones, you definitely want to turn down the volume. And then what's curious, it actually turns off if you stop moving. Then to turn it off, you hold the button and you can see you're back on. So definitely a weird feature. There is no cell phone notification or cell phone service here. There's no Bluetooth or anything, no app. It's basically just a loud alarm that's based on motion. You can also turn it off by triple tapping the top button. So if you don't have the remote, you can just tap it a few times. So how effective it is, I'm not sure, but it's kind of a cool feature and it is quite loud. Now let's take a look at the output modes of the NT101. There's 3 constant modes. You have high, medium, and low. And you can see the output goes down, but the runtime goes up, with low giving you 24 hours of runtime and 15 lumen. You also have daytime flash, which gives you the full 160 lumen and 14 hours. You have warning, which gives you a slow flash. And then you have the hazard mode, which gives you the orange lights, which is a nice feature, so kind of looks like you're parking. You also have the turn signals, which are 115 lumen and be selected for the left or right. Here's some riding footage with the taillight As you can see, they're pretty nice and wide, so it's a big taillight, and the turn signals are actually visible from further distances as they're quite bright. So you can actually indicate that you're turning. Whether or not people notice that is a separate thing, but it's nice to have that, especially with this bigger light. And then it automatically turns off, and you can even turn on or off the little indicator sound, which is really helpful. We're not showing here the horn and the alarm. We tried the horn and we just got a lot of confused looks, so the horn is definitely not that useful. It doesn't sound like a bell. It has that more of the electronic sound that's more of a chirp, and it'll get confused looks rather than people moving out of your way. Similarly with the alarm, it's really just not that useful. You don't have any notifications to your phone, and it's just very loud, so if you're not within earshot, it's not a really useful feature. But otherwise, a pretty cool light. It's impressive they've packed so many features in such a small size, and it's very bright for what it is. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the RAVEMEN NT101. What we like about it is you have a very bright 160 lumen output, an impressive range of features for the low price. You also have turn signals which are bright and well spaced, so you can actually tell them apart, and they're nice and bright so you can actually see them from further distances. The main negative is the fact that it's a very bulky light, not something you're going to put on a road bike, but better suited for a commuter bike. Also, there's no indicator that the alarm is engaged, and without any cell phone notifications or any other features with the alarm, it's just going to be a loud noise that you may or may not hear, so it's not that useful a feature. Also, the electronic horn is quite confusing, has more of a beep sound that people just don't recognize, so even if you're trying to honk at somebody, it's really not as effective as a standard metal bell. Taking everything into account would give the light an 8.5 out of 10. You get all the features you'd ever want from a light at a very budget-friendly price. Although all the features don't make sense, it's still really cool to see and could be a good use for a commuter. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.